Hello, and welcome to this episode of the People Savvy Business Show. I'm Mark Terrell from the Reluctant Leader Academy, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the importance of visioning. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because this week seems to be like a reoccurrence of certain themes, and visioning keeps coming up as an important part that often gets missed by business owners, entrepreneurs who quite easily get wrapped up in their day-to-day, start something off and then forget this part and getting this really clear with respect to how we are going to progress, where we're going, and all the things that are important, so that when things go wrong, when things maybe go off track, off flight plan, and we need to bring people back on track, we need this so that we can refer to it rather than make it into a personal one-to-one with person that maybe not be doing what you want them to do. If you have a document which sets out your vision, and when I say vision, not just about what you're going to do, it needs to include how you're going to do it, and the things that are important to you with regards to values, and also why you're doing it. Be clear about why you're doing it so that you don't get sidetracked. It's very easy to start a business that's maybe set out to be a specialist in something, and then an opportunity comes along which then sidetracks you and makes you into more of a generalist, which may be not what you set out to do in the first place. So visioning is really important. So let's look at I'm going to share with you this quarter of the model that I use, which is the Liberating Leadership model. And the first step is visioning. And you'll see that there are three things that we need to consider at this stage. Firstly, provide consistency of approach and personal style. So this is important so that our team know what to expect of us. They know the way we normally behave, and so that they don't get any nasty shocks all of a sudden, that one day you are maybe not bothered and then the next day you are very bothered. So you need to be consistent so that the message is landing. You're picking people up, not only getting things wrong, but also making sure that you catch people doing things right. I think it's very important here to remember about setting some boundaries. When you set boundaries with regards to what's acceptable, but also remembering what's not acceptable, and picking up on those things, that when things do happen, you are being observed. Remember, people are noticing what you do, and if you don't deal with something consistently with all your team, then straight away you are going to put yourself in a difficult position. So consistency is really important. So next step is observation and information. So it's very important to know where you are, where you're starting from, so that you know what needs to change, where you're heading to, and getting those details right so that you can assess what actually needs to happen yourself before you then start introducing that to your team is important. So a good an idea about what is actually happening is really important at this stage. Thirdly, analyze present situation and accurately. And so this is sort of backing up what I've just said, really, is making sure that you are clear in what needs to be done. And this is quite challenging, particularly if you are new to leadership, new to maybe a team. Then I think we tend to want to sort of make changes probably sooner than they really need to happen. So we've got to give ourselves time to analyse exactly what's happening, what needs to change, and what doesn't need to change, so we can get fixated about changing everything, doing things that maybe don't need to be done in respect to where we need to get to. And then fourthly, create a vision. Essentially, this is what visioning is all about. It's actually realizing that we need to go somewhere, we need to achieve something, and if we don't have this vision, then the type of things that can happen is that we set off down the route of, well, we don't know where we're going, do we? Like I think the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland tell you that if you don't know where you're going, then any road will do. So you need to have a clear idea of where you're going. And I think it's very important to realise that, what is the purpose. Also, being clear about the purpose is equally important, in that if we don't know why we're doing something, then we soon run out of energy. And this is where I think it's important to remember our motivations as to what we need from our business, especially when we're in as a business owner, an entrepreneur. We've got to remember what's important to us. And something that I've been talking about again this week is about remembering that sometimes we need to do things short term that maybe don't motivate us, so that long term those things can be these things can come to fruition. So it's like taking that short term pain for long term gain, which is sometimes that's what you need. Someone to feed back to you, someone to suggest to you in a conversation, because our motivations are very strong, particularly when we're an entrepreneur, to do the things that we want to do, and not the things that we don't particularly want to do. And if those things that we don't want to do are crucial to our business, then we're probably not paying enough attention to it. And so that may be our Achilles heel. So it's very important that we don't let that happen. And it's very important, I think, also to remember what you stand for with respect to what is acceptable, and what is it that, with regards to your values, what are the things that are important with respect to everyone in the team? What do you want to see them doing? And also what do you want to see them not doing? And this is really, really important. When you come to a point where you need to bring someone back on track that maybe has gone off plan, then rather than become a one-to-one with you and that other person having a discussion about something that happened and making it into almost like it's you and I, if you have a decent vision and you have it clearly mapped out as to what we're doing, how we're doing things, and also why we're doing things, when you have that conversation with that person in your team with respect to something that's not right, you don't have to make it about you and them. You just say, we're having this conversation because I think what happened the other day is not in line with our vision. And the reason why I think that is because it's not something that it's not the way we do things here. It's not the way we do things. It's not in line with our values. It's not why we're doing things. It's clearly that if we go down that route, we're not going to achieve what we set out to do. And that's the important thing. So, and I think there's one more thing worth mentioning is making sure that everyone is aware of their responsibilities to the team and with their responsibilities to the vision. You can quite easily put more than one person responsible for something, and when you do that, then what tends to happen is that nobody's responsible, because there is always somebody else to blame. So I think as soon as you can get someone that is going to take total responsibility, and that includes you as well. I think that's being clear as the business owner, entrepreneur, making sure that you are clear about your responsibilities. And one of those responsibilities I suggest is to be the person that keeps people accountable, and be the oil that keeps the machine working, and make sure that you check in with people and make sure you notice what's going right. Someone asked me the other day, when things are going wrong, what should you focus on? And I said, well, the first thing you should do is actually think about what's going right, and make sure that everyone knows that you're noticing things, that some things are right, even when things are particularly stressful. That can be difficult, but I think that's the place where you can make a difference by remembering and highlighting things that we do well around here, but at the moment things like this aren't particularly working so well. So that's my sort of summary of why visioning is important. It gives us accountability. It gives us something, a point of reference also, and it keeps us on track when we are maybe having a bit of a wobble and things aren't quite going to plan. So I hope that's useful, and I will see you on the next edition of the People Savvy Business Show. And in the meantime, check out my website, which is thereluctantleader.academy. Get in touch, and if there's anything I can help you with, please don't hesitate to drop me a line. See you again soon.